Hey, I got my sidekick with me here, my mom. Today we are making homemade buttermilk biscuits. Come back on the other side. You don't want to miss this. Hey community, it's Ruth and welcome to My Perfect Peace Community, where we find peace and balance in a world of chaos. Today I got my mom with me. Yes, Mary Breckenridge. Say hey to everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
When I was a little girl, one of the things that I loved the most that my mother made on Saturday mornings was homemade biscuits. I mean, I loved them. And we would put the jelly on them and the honey and the apple butter. Now, I'm an apple butter girl. I don't know about you. Let me know what you like. I like the apple butter with the butter as well. Yes. And so I convinced her to come on here with me to help me and to show you guys how she makes her homemade buttermilk biscuits. You ready, Mom?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay, now it's going to be different now than when it was when they were kids, because then we didn't measure anything. We just put it together. We went by how it looked and how it felt. But we were measuring it so you can use this recipe. It was so wonderful back then. In the summer, they had fried apples. They had one slice of bacon, a tablespoon of scrambled eggs, and 2 homemade biscuits. That was their breakfast.
Right. And the reason why we had that amount is because there was 8 kids in the house, 10 of us all together. My mom, my dad, 5 boys, growing boys who like to eat, 2 girls, and then myself, who was like, so sweet and wonderful. I'm just saying. I was the best child, right?
Well, hallelujah.
All right, so let's get started. We pretty much have everything out here, and it's 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt. We already have measured out our 4 cups of all-purpose flour, not self-rising, all-purpose flour. And then we have 2 cups of,
1 cup of lard.
1 cup of lard and 2 cups of buttermilk. And so those things are in the refrigerator, still keeping cool. So we'll bring those out in a little bit. So that's what we've got everything here.
The main thing to remember is try not to overdo your dough because it makes it tough. Use real cold lard or butter, whatever you use, and make sure your buttermilk is cold because that makes your biscuits flakier. Okay? And make sure you turn on your oven 450 degrees. When I was a little, we didn't have that. We just turned it on and waited till the oven got real hot. So now you can have it 450
So
degrees.
did you just have to watch them to see how brown they got?
So you had to just watch it. You had to just, and you went by how it smelled then. When you were cooking them, they smelled a certain way to let you know it was halfway done, and you kind of peep. So that's how it was done back then. But guess what? It turned out fantastic.
Oh, I know it did. All right. So what are we going to do first?
We're going to put our 4 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
We're going to put our 1 teaspoon
of cream of tartar. Whoops. Sorry.
That's all right.
That
look
good?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Remember, it's a teaspoon of each dry ingredient, okay?
Teaspoon of baking, what is that?
Baking
soda. All right. Can I get that in there?
I don't know.
I tell you what, more than one way to skin a cat. How about that? Whoops.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, it's about
enough. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. And then a teaspoon. Now I know I can get this out of here. And this is our, what is it? Baking powder.
Baking powder.
Make sure you even it off.
And do not use the soda that you have put in the refrigerator to keep it from smelling.
Because then your bacon is going to be tasting like your refrigerator.
It
right?
won't do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, so then a teaspoon of salt.
Yes. Yes. Now, if you
Okay.
would get out the lard, I would appreciate it. And while she's doing that, whisk all your dry ingredients. You're not trying to make anything. You're just trying to whisk it to mix it. Because the more you fool with it, you will not have flaky.
And so
biscuits.
then, like way back, you used to have to sift the flour,
Yeah,
right?
we sift everything. We put everything in the sifter. But now the way the flour is made, processed, you don't have to do a lot of sifting. Some people will sift it, but majority of the people that do the biscuits now, they do not sift their flour or anything. Okay?
And I have a sifter too that I bought from
Okay, now I'm going to need
another spoon.
Well, I can use this.
Okay, and this is what? A cup
of lard.
Okay.
And remember, your hands are warm. So you're going to try that. And one thing you're going to have to do is you are going to have to mix this so it come up like little peas, pea pods. Because this, and you can fix it if you have one of those bacon things that you that you can do.
You're just going to do it with a fork.
Yeah, I'm going to do it with a fork. It will take a minute because all of your flour has to be incorporated with this lard so you can make those little beads.
Right.
So you can have it correct. So it's going to take a minute. Now, a long time ago, we did this with our hands, our fingers. We did like that. But now it's better, they say, because your hands were hot. But back then, it didn't make any difference.
Okay.
So, Ruthie, if you want to do a little...
Oh, I'll do a little bit of it, but while I'm doing this, I want to talk a little bit about your shirt that you have on.
Okay, all right.
My mom, if you can see, she has on her Central High School shirt, and she actually graduated from Central High School, which is a primarily African-American high school in Louisville, Kentucky, and she graduated in 1955. I looked it up. Central School actually opened in 1870, and they named it in 1890 something Central Colored High School. And at that time, that is when my grandmother, my great aunts graduated from Central Colored High School. You want to talk about that?
Well, my mother graduated in 1925.
Wow. From Central Colored
High School. And her sister, Maggie Brown, she graduated in 1929. And it was still Central Colored High School.
Wow.
I must say, it was really, we enjoyed school. And we had to do our lessons, we had to work, and our teachers really cared about us, and it was fantastic. So that school has a lot of, what I want to say about our family.
A lot of legacy there.
We have a lot of legacy there. By my parents, my mother graduated from there, and then all me and my sisters and my brother. I had a son that graduated from there. Now I have a great-granddaughter that's graduating from there. And also my uncle, J.W. Hackett, was principal of Central from 1963 to 1972.
All right.
And so I just feel like I'm really a part of the school. And I had a good time in school. I don't know about you. I enjoyed from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade.
And then you have another great-granddaughter that's going to be graduating from there in a couple of years.
In a couple of years, my other great-granddaughter will be graduating from Central. And it's so funny, but I have a lot of memories from that school. I remember Muhammad Ali back then was Cassius Clay. And he was a good friend of my brother's, not because they went to Central together, but because they all played in the same neighborhood. And they didn't want him to play like, Cassius, you can't play basketball. You're too little. And my brother said, he told them, when I grow up, I'm going to beat up all of you all. So he was like true to his promise. So all those things that you see, and even Daryl Owens, he was a councilman. he graduated. So it's just, when you look back and see all those people that you were friends with and you are a part of, it makes you feel really, really good.
And that's where he got the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, because the mascot for Central is the Central Yellow Jackets. So that's where he got the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. See? On her shirt. Okay, so how's this looking?
Well, a little bit more. You see, you don't have enough of those.
Okay.
You have too much lard that's still
humped.
Yes, and they're
so
really
this
not.
is actually what you call cutting it.
Yes, if you want to, you can get a knife and a fork and just cut it. If you have that.
So can we just do this with our fingers?
Yes, you can.
Let me see you do it with your fingers.
This is how we used to do it.
Okay.
Hold that.
Do you need any more lard?
You see how it's making those little beads? See how those little pea-looking things were coming up? You see that? And we used to love to ask my Aunt Missy to let us do this. And she'd say, no, because your hand will get tired. Because you got to have it all together. But you couldn't, you see those little, how big now, see how it's coming together? But like I say, back then.
Well, sometimes you just can't do newfangled stuff. So that's like a story. Sometimes,
sometimes the old way is the best way.
There you go.
And I enjoyed it, and I was glad because my children enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh. Wait till you see these when she finishes.
Only thing I didn't learn how to do was can. I could not can things. And I couldn't make homemade cakes either. Well, they didn't let me. They all did everything for me. Now we're getting there. Okay. Now, can you show how they look like little? See how the little crumbly things look?
Okay.
See how that look? That's where you're trying to get it to. Now, some people would put this in a food processor to make it look, if you want to do it really the short way.
Well, we don't want to do it the newfangled way. We want to do it the old way. And
people, now they will use the self-rising flour because they don't have to use all the other ingredients.
No, we don't want that.
So
I want it just like it was when I was a little girl.
Okay. Now
what do you need?
Now I need my buttermilk. Okay.
Do I need to shake it up? No.
You can, but it really isn't necessary. Now, I don't know how many people that don't like buttermilk. I love buttermilk. I can drink buttermilk any day.
I think this is going to get us right at the 2 cups. It's going to be a little bit short. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Now, I tell you what I need. I do need like a spatula so I can kind of like fold it together. Oh, that buttermilk smells so good. And while I'm doing this together, don't forget your rolling pin, all right? Whoops. I'm going to ask you to clean off me a little area where when this is made into dough, I can put it on there. Oh, I'm sorry. And it may look like you don't have enough liquid, but you do. Some people are like, well, it's not, you have enough dough. You have enough milk in the dough. So don't ever put too much fluid in it.
Liquid in it. What will happen if it's too?
Because it just won't make a dough. It will not make a dough. Okay. Woo! I wish y'all could smell this buttermilk. And I'm just splashing stuff everywhere. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Now I need you to come up. I need you to come. I don't need you to
Okay.
put up stuff right now.
Oh, sorry.
I need you to get some flour.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
See, she's forgetting one of the most important parts.
I'm trying to clean up.
See, you can't clean up till it's all done.
Okay. So is this fine stuff right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Make sure your table is clean, okay?
It's clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now sprinkle some flour on there. Don't be afraid.
Oh, okay.
You do a little bit more.
Some more?
That's bad enough.
Just disobedient.
Oh my goodness, this child is a mess. I don't know what I need to get it just a little bit more down in there to bring it together. Hold that.
Can you turn it that way so they can?
Oh,
see
I'm
what you're
sorry.
doing?
I'm just making sure all. See, you have flour in the bottom of your
Right.
pan, so make sure you get all that down there.
Now, should it feel sticky?
It's sticky. It's very sticky because it's just a dough. All right.
Right.
And it's gonna be a little bit sticky. And if you have kids that want to learn how to cook, let them get in here and do all this. Okay, now I'm going to turn it out here. Get that together and take that. Pass
You don't want this right here?
No, that's fine. Kind of bring it together, roll it around, and then you're just going to knead what we call knead it a little bit. Okay, where'd the flour go?
Oh, sorry.
Ruthie, put a little bit more down there. There you go. And try to make it into a nice ball. Okay, pat it together. And you know what? You might have to put a little flour on your hands.
To keep it from being so sticky on your hands.
Yes. Then you just do it again. Turn it. Do it again. Turn it. Do it again. Okay. Now you want to roll it out.
Okay.
Now I'll go kind of, you want to start rolling it out while I kind of rinse my hands off?
Sure. Do you want me to put flour on
Put
this?
flour on your rolling pin.
See, I remember that part.
Make sure you have enough sprinkle flour on the back on the table. You need to make sure you have plenty of that. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay.
Okay.
Move that over. You don't put a lot of flour on your rolling pin.
I did. It was coming off.
Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Now what am I doing?
Okay,
You
now.
do it. The flour right there.
Yeah, put a little flour right there. I know it all seems sticky, but in the end, it's going to be good.
I already know.
Okay. Now, you have to make sure that you roll it out. You don't want to roll it out too thin because then your biscuits will be thin, okay? So then just roll it out. And we used to have what you call a mammy cake. On the end, when you couldn't roll it out anymore, then that's when you had your mammy cake. Excuse me, Ruthie. That's about.
Now, do you think the mammy cake came from maybe slavery time?
Because
when she would like make the biscuits.
the cook got the last part.
Right. So, yeah.
And there wasn't a real biscuit. It looked like it was folded over and made like maybe a pie or something. So they called it the mammy cake. So that's what.
Right. Because the mammy got to eat that.
Right. So now, going to make sure put a little bit of flour
you
down.
need a pan, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to butter it?
No, ma'am. When you cut your biscuits, make sure you put flour on whatever. We're using a glass. Try to, and that's how you press down and come up. Try not to twist it around. The best way is to press down and bring it back up. Put it on your
Oh, look how pretty that looks. Look how pretty that
and the larger you want your biscuits, the higher you have your dough.
Oh, okay.
So that makes a difference also. But as I cut it, I need you to take them and put them on the.
Okay.
Yeah, and I need you to put them together.
Oh, they have to touch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I didn't know that. And that helps them to rise?
Yes.
When they touch?
Yes. Whoops. That's all right.
Okay.
That is okay. And I know.
I remember you used to do that part.
I know it looks like it's a mess here, but it's a good mess, okay? And that's the reason why I could fix biscuits and feed so many kids, because it really didn't take that much ingredients, but you got where I could give them 2 biscuits. I would have to use maybe 2 loaves of bread to give each child 2 pieces of toast. And sometimes I still didn't get toast. Sometimes I still didn't get bacon, because somebody would say, "You want your piece of bacon?"
I don't know who.
I don't know who it was either.
Selfish child.
Oh. And sometimes instead of a slice of bacon, they got half a slice. But they I appreciate it because they enjoyed whatever they had.
Well, I mean, we didn't know any different though.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't know, we only get 1 piece of bacon, or we were just happy to get what we had. And, you hear.
They were glad to smell.
Right. When you hear stories about time where people will say, "I didn't know I was poor." I mean, we didn't know. We thought our life was wonderful, and it was. So
then you have to do this again. Make another roll so you can roll it out, and so you can make more biscuits. I don't know how. Like I said, it all depends on the height that you make your biscuits. Is how many that you have. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sticking my hand in the flour. Oh Lord, excuse me. In Jesus' name.
So, do you have any more stories about when you were growing up as a little girl?
Well, when I was growing up as a little girl, I really enjoyed it. We had a nice chapel. Of course, we went to church all the time.
Right.
We had no snow days. And we had more snow than y'all have ever seen here.
I know.
And when it snowed, and my brother would put on his boots and walk to school. And what we would do, we would walk in his footsteps because he had on big galoshes. And we were always glad because there was an area that was called Little Africa. Those children didn't come because they didn't have shoes or things, so they didn't come. So we only lived like maybe a block and a half from the school. So then we went.
Wow. So then there was no school bus that came.
Oh my goodness, no. When I was a senior in high school, we rode the city bus. And guess what? You better not be late.
Right.
I mean, one time we had a ice storm. And at that time we had the trolley. And the trolley got stuck on the line, and the bus wouldn't go. I promise you, we were sitting there. Everybody that lived down in Parkland was on that. Oh, Ruthie.
That's okay. I got it. Go ahead.
Was on the bus. And guess what? Our assistant principal's name was Ma Brown Porter. Don't you know all of us that was on that bus got detention? Like the bus wouldn't move. We were on the bus. Well, you knew it was bad weather, so you should have gotten up earlier.
Wow.
So we had no excuses.
Oops, sorry. I should.
That's all right.
Move those over a little bit.
Now I think it's time for me to kind of like
For
make
the
the mammy cake.
Sorry, guys. Look how good these look. Oh, I cannot wait.
So your mammy cake looked like this. Now, you see how I rolled it out? Then you would fold it over.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Do that again.
Roll it out. and you fold it over, and that was your mammy cake.
But we used to, now who got the mammy cake?
Most of the time, Chucky always, when I was coming up.
No, when you were making it for us.
Chucky, the oldest boy, always, because he would always call, whoever called for it first got it. He always said, I want the mammy cake. So then everybody else would be upset. Well, you always get the mammy cake. Well, Mama said whoever was first. So then you put it in the oven, 475 for 12.
450 or 475?
475.
How about you said 450? That's high.
Yeah, we'll leave around 450. That's probably what
okay.
And make sure you still kind of smell it. It still has that smell of getting done, okay? But and then make sure that it's brown on top. Okay, when you get it out, make sure you have some butter and, like you said, some. Now back then we had syrup, Karo syrup, and that's what we would put on our biscuits.
Okay, 450. We just waiting for the oven to heat up. We're gonna put it in. I'm gonna clean up a little bit. All right, we'll be back in just a second. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is a good one. Thank you. See you in just a second. So we cooked these for 12 minutes on 450 degrees.
Right.
And they look absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
I cannot wait
to get how light do they feel?
Oh my gosh. Wonderful. Pillsbury has nothing on you. All right. Thanks so much for watching today. I have certainly enjoyed making these biscuits with my mother. And hopefully you will make memories, whether you make them with your mother or your daughter or your grandchild or grandson. It's a great memory maker. So I want to dig on into these biscuits. I cannot wait. Look at that. Look how that just opened up. Wow. I've got my butter here. Put my butter on. I'm going to put a little bit of strawberry jam on there. Oops. Spilled it. All right. Here we go. All right, here comes the test. This is so good. Thank you all so much for watching, Mama. Thank you.
Make sure you try it.
Yes, make this so good. Always remember, seek peace and pursue it.
Yes.